Hello, everybody. Welcome back to It's the United Way. Today, we'll be doing a new little show, and that is Ten Hag's shopping list. Joining me today is Rahul. Rahul, how are you?
I'm fine, man. What's up?
I'm good. Again, I'm guessing people know what the show is. We talk about players that could be on Ten Hag's transfer list or players he'd like to buy. It's like when you go for your weekly food shop, you have things wrote down on your list, and then you go and buy them. So that's what we'll be kind of talking about today. We mightn't get them all right, but again, it's Ten Hag shopping list, and we'll talk around that. But I suppose, Rahul, do you want to start off?
Yeah, so I'll start us off with Anthony.
Yep.
So as you all know, 22 years old, Brazilian, contracted till 2025 with Ajax.
Yep.
1.72 meters, right wing. So he has 23 appearances, 8 goals, 4 assists, and he could play left wing. So he's about 30 million pounds probably. He's a left-footed player, so a left-footed right winger, and he has 2 goals in 9 appearances for Brazil as well. So with Anthony, he's probably the most one of the most likelier players to join United because of the Ten Hag links. But it still worries me because I'm not hearing too many advanced talks going on. I think they're still talking about Timber right now. But I hope I'm definitely sure he's on the list.
100%, Rahul. I mean, I think when Ten Hag first got the job, he was on the top of his transfer list. But I mean, I'm not sure how much he's worth. Do you have a
Yeah, so he's probably, if you negotiate right, you could get him for 30 million pounds.
Oh, so not too bad.
But since he's contracted till 2025 and he's just 22 years old, Ajax would probably bargain and overprice him basically, because United's a big club with a lot of money. But I think anything above 30-35 million, I think you're overpaying for me.
Yeah, that's it. And as you said, he's a left-footed right winger, which I don't think we have many of those at the club at the moment. So a left-footed right winger would be good. I mean, to be honest with you, I'd love Anthony at Man United. I really, really would. He has a good relationship with Ten Hag. Again, obviously because he played under Ten Hag. But listen, as you said, I'm pretty sure he's down on Ten Hag's list of transfers.
Yeah, man.
Again,
for sure.
The people who would watching this video, let us know in the comments whether you would get Anthony, or do you reckon he is on Ten Hag's transfer list, or as we call it, shopping list. But Rahul, he's more experienced, probably much older than Anthony. He's a midfielder. He's Danish, Christian Eriksen. Ten Hag came out the other day. I'm not sure what he's saying, that Ten Hag is, he likes Eriksen. I think when Eriksen tried Ajax for a few days after he returned to football, Ten Hag said he's really interested in him, and I don't think Eriksen be up at the very top of Ten Hag's shopping list, but he's definitely on there, Rahul, surely. He's 30 years of age. His height is 1.82 meters. He's an attacking midfielder. I think he's only scored 1 goal for Brentford this season.
I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I think he's got 1 goal, 4 assists. But Eriksen, he returned from football, and I think before Eriksen had obviously the heart attack on the pitch, he's still a good player. But now he's at that coming back, you wouldn't think anything happened to him. I know we always say that we don't like taking players that are in their 30s because that's more coming to the end of their career. But to be honest with you, Rahul, I would honestly like Eriksen at Man United. I'm not sure about you, but I'd like him.
I might definitely take Eriksen, just for the simple reason because he knows Ten Hag, he understands the system,
Yep.
and Ten Hag would be comfortable working with him as well.
Mm.
So you can't just think as a fan. Sometimes you have to think as a manager as well.
Yeah.
If you're a manager, bringing in someone who you know, right, who you trust, could help nurture the younger players who you know buy in eventually. So is a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, that's it. And I've always liked Christian Eriksen, to be honest with you. Even at Tottenham, I would have liked Man United to get him again. I feel like we should have got him a longer time ago, but I suppose him Man United is run. But yeah, listen, again, people who are watching this video, let us know in the comments whether you would like Eriksen at Man United. And the player Rahul mentioned earlier on, Anthony, let us know in the comments. But yeah, Rahul, I think we're on an agreement that the both of us would like Christian Eriksen, and he's definitely up there on Ten Hag's shopping list, Rahul. That's for a fact.
Yeah, for sure.
But Rahul, any other players? I guess so.
Yeah, so I'll start off with Pau Torres.
Yep.
So plays for Villarreal, 25 years of age, Spanish, 1.91 meters tall, centre back, left-footed. His contract expires in 2024, and it costs you probably 43 million pounds again if you negotiate properly. So with him, I'm not too keen on buying him, but he's definitely kind of like a third choice maybe on the list for me in the centre back department. But he would definitely make the list because he is experienced. He has, he was a crucial part of the Villarreal team in the Champions League last season. And he's left-footed as well, so he does offer you a good dynamic there. If you do have we don't really have a left-footed centre back.
Exactly.
But for me, the downside is just the value. It's just Villarreal are just going to ask us to overpay probably above 50, maybe 60 million pounds for him, which he's just not worth. So I hope we don't get him, but I think Ten Hag would probably have him on his list.
Definitely, and as you said, the price is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Especially when they only have, supposedly, it'd have 120 million to spend in the transfer window. So again, that's kind of really biting into your budget to spend in the summer. But again, people who've watched this video, let us know in the comments whether you would like Pau Torres or whether that price budget would just turn you off. Again, Rahul, we've had a lot of players that we've been interested in. For example, Darren Núñez, who we're interested in, but the price is the problem. Listen, I'd like Pau Torres. I'd like a lot of players like Pau Torres. He's young, quick player. He has what some Man United defenders don't have, what Man United need, and then it's again there's always something that has to stop you, and the price budget is stopped. But listen, as you said, and I agree with you, Pau Torres is definitely on Ten Hag's shopping list. There's no argument about it. I suppose, Rahul, we'll move on to another defender, and I think you know who I'm going to already talk about. Julian Timber. He's 20 years of age. He's Dutch. His height is 1.82 meters. Centre back. So this season he's made 30 appearances for Ajax, 3 goals, 2 assists. And yeah, he can also be a right back as well, Rahul, which is good. That could help. For you'd like a right back, and Julian Timber can also play in that right back position as well, Rahul, which can come in handy. I don't think he'd be Ten Hag's main right back. I think if Ten Hag signed him, we'd have him in his proper position. And yeah, he's 27 million pounds. I'm not sure whether Ajax want more for him. 35 maybe. I'm not too sure whether you want even more than that. 50 mil. You just don't know. Teams it's like teams these days. when the other teams were interested in, you realise that the players price tag, and then that turns teams off. For example, like Man United, and they're like, okay, we'll move on to someone else. But Timber, Rahul, a lot of us would like him, but would you have any doubts about anything about him?
And for me, there's absolutely no doubt. Ten Hag's given Timber his debut at Ajax.
Yep.
He's basically made Timber. Um, I think if Ten Hag wants him, which he obviously does,
Yep.
United should deliver him. For me, the only concern here is Ajax. Much like if you remember, like 5 seasons ago when we were in for Griezmann, and Griezmann was basically ready. He publicly said that he was 7 out of 10 coming to United. But then because of financial issues, he had to stay back at Atletico Madrid, and for loyalty issues as well. So I think that's the only sort of issue I think that could hold him back. I don't think personally that he is in doubt about Manchester United and would need much of any persuasion or anything. So I think definitely we should probably get him.
Yeah, definitely. And Julian Timber, he's not worth as much as Pau Torres is, or anyone like that. But yeah, I would like Julian Timber. He's young, and we all know Erik ten Hag. He likes to have a strong youth team. Again, Julian Timber's not a player you throw into the youth team. That's a fact. You throw him in the starting 11. But I don't know whether you heard about this, Rahul. Julian Timber, he doesn't really want to come to United because the World Cup is coming up very soon, and he's afraid he's not going to get game time. I mean, I read that, and the first thing I said is, look at Man United's defence. You're getting game time. But I mean, I don't know what do you think about that?
I think I'm kind of 50-50 on that. It could be media driven, which I suspect. But it could also, I don't really know about Timber's mentality. I don't really know if he's the kind of player who's willing to accept challenges, or he's the kind of player, who's comfortable in staying where he is, wherever he is set. So I don't know really, but I just feel that if there were any doubts about Timber, then we probably wouldn't have been in for him from the beginning, because United don't operate that way. So I think this is most likely a media-driven thing.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's going to stop him, as I mentioned, is just Ajax.
Yeah, that's it. And you kind of said it all, Rahul. Again, people who's watching the video, let us know in the comments whether you like Julian Timber, or if you have any doubts about him or anything like that. I don't have any doubts about Julian Timber, and neither does Rahul. But Rahul, I'm guessing you have a few more players down.
Yeah, so I'll go with Declan Rice. 23 years old, English defensive midfield, as you know, 36 appearances, 4 goals, and his contract expires in 2024. But West Ham have the option to extend his contract for a year, and his height is 1.88 meters, and he's valued at a base value of probably 64 million pounds, which should go upwards to 100 million, maybe even more, depending on what West Ham quotes.
But just to stop you there, Rahul, just to stop you there, he's not worth 100 million. He's just not. I don't care. Yeah. He's not.
I know. Yeah, but it's just the English market,
Yeah.
It's just that the money is in England, So the money is there. The clubs are obviously, if you're going to get rid of your captain, you probably want, the highest kind of value. You probably want an inflated price. So it is what it is. But for me, he's not a realistic, target. He's there on the list. For me, I think another thing I'd like to do is I'd like to bring in swap deals back into the play. I think swap deals are something that could be done, in case of players like Pau Torres, Declan Rice, who are, probably out of our budget, but West Ham are interested in one of our players, then maybe we could get rid of one of our players and also get him at maybe like say 20 30 million. Like we did with Sanchez and Mkhitaryan a few years ago. But obviously, it's a difficult deal. Swap deals are obviously difficult to do. And United are slow. So I think it's just realistic. It's an unrealistic target for me, but it's a target nonetheless. A guy who should be on the list for me. But even if he was to move, obviously he favors Chelsea, and there could be other European clubs who are willing to pay more maybe for him.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I'd love to have him because I know people are bringing in like Frankie Dion and classifying him as a DM. But for me, I always prefer an out-and-out proper central defender. A proper DM who could do that job, and who's flexible as well. Could operate as a CM if needed. I think Declan Rice is perfect. 23 years, of age. But obviously, this is just hypothetical. It's not going to happen. I think we all know it, but he's definitely on the list.
Definitely, he definitely is. But again, as always, Rahul, that price is a big major problem. Again, I would honestly love Declan Rice at Man United. He's good for West Ham. He's good with the English national team. He's just good, but that price budget, it's too much for a player that's won no trophies. He's won no trophies at all. No trophies. He's probably only got one runners-up medal, and that was the Euros with England last year. So he's not won. He hasn't won. I don't think let's just say he hasn't won any trophies. Bruno's won more trophies than him, and I'm pretty sure Bruno's worth less than Declan Rice. It's the thing about it. But Rahul, you did mention a player. Again, people who's watching the video, let us know in the comments whether you like Declan Rice at Man United, or if anything would turn you off that player that Rahul just mentioned, Declan Rice. But Rahul, you did mention him, Frankie Dion. He's definitely on Ten Hag's shopping list. He's 25 years of age. He's Dutch. His height is 1.80 meters. Again, central midfielder. So far this season, he's made 32 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists. And he's a central midfielder and also a defensive midfielder. So he did move to Barcelona for £77.40 million. But on a few transfer market, he's worth £54 million. But in real life, he's worth around 100, even 150 million. Frankie de Jong, Rahul, he's worth he's in the hundreds anyways.
No, I wouldn't. I think that's just again inflation. Especially if you're going to sell to an English club. Yeah. De Jong for me anywhere above 60 million. I wouldn't. Maybe 65. I would stretch. Above that, you're just paying again. You're paying what a higher value. He's not worth that much. He is a good player. He's relatively established, but he isn't in his prime. For you to be paying that kind of a fee for him.
Yeah.
And Barcelona fans would probably say the same thing about him. They don't rate him as much. But obviously he is the target that we've all been speculating over for the past couple of weeks. So it's definitely there.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, Rahul, I always see this news about Frankie de Jong, and I get to a stage where I'm just like, you know what, Barcelona can keep him. They can keep him. We'll get someone else. I'm just sick of seeing the news about Frankie de Jong. But I don't know about you or people watching the video, but when it comes to Frankie de Jong, you're just like, Barcelona, tell you what you can do, keep your midfielder, we'll go for someone else. It comes to that stage. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but to me, it comes to that stage.
No, but for me, I think he's definitely, there's been a lot of players in footballing history that probably haven't wanted to play for a certain club, but have been persuaded, into coming and playing for the club and have done well. So just because a player, doesn't or has doubts over the move, actually is a good thing. If you look at it from the other point of view, it's a good thing. It's not just a player coming in as a mercenary, just for the money. A guy who wants certainty and clarity about what he's going to do. So it's a good thing for me. But for me, obviously, there is a line between that and between you being a mercenary. So I don't think Frankie Dion is a mercenary for me. I think if we're gonna get him, we will have to probably overpay, because Barcelona are, gonna ask for a higher amount because of their financial situation.
Yep.
But I hope that we don't, because realistically, even if Messi or someone else turns up at your door, and he's the best player in the world, but you have to, you're basically on the bad end of the shorter end of the stick. Basically, you're getting ripped off. You have to pay a higher value. I think that's not how a proper footballing club operates. That's, for me, that's just another short selling move. So if we are going to move into a footballing club and not a commercial club, we have to be strict with our budget.
Exactly. And Rahul, you said it all. You honestly, you covered it from top to bottom. A very interesting piece as well. But yeah, Frankie Dion, just no. But Rahul, any other players down on your shopping list?
I have one, a controversial player, Harry Kane. He's the reason why I have him.
Who was it again?
In my list. That was Harry Kane.
Oh, Harry Kane, yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I have him in my list is because of how highly Ten Hag rates him. And that's the only reason I have him on my list, because United wouldn't be going anywhere near a player like Harry Kane, and because of what is going to cost you. But just because of Ten Hag's interest in Harry Kane, and he's spoken well of him before, I have him on my list. Again, for me, if you're going to go for Harry Kane, it has to be a swap deal. Because you can't be paying whatever they're asking for.
Martial, Harry Kane.
Yeah, depending on what Conte likes. But for me, again, it's another player that's unrealistic. It's probably never going to happen, because Conte, as Fabrizio Romano himself has said it, has demanded Harry Kane to stay at the club for his own job security. Conte basically idealizes Kane with himself. So Kane leaves, it's a big blow to Conte, and he doesn't operate that way. So it's not going to happen, but, we never know in the transfer market. Anything could happen, we saw with Messi. So I have him in my list, but, another one of those deals that probably won't happen.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Again, I did say in the show a good few weeks ago, I think even before you joined, Rahul, I wouldn't want Harry Kane because of his not his age, but his price. But then when you start to look more into it, where I don't think we're going to get Darwin Núñez, we're desperate for a second striker, maybe a fourth striker. I'd take Harry Kane at Man United at the moment. When Harry Kane's on good form, he's good. Again, like Ronaldo. When Ronaldo is on good form, he's good. When Ronaldo and Harry Kane get service, they're even better. But Man United don't tend to do that. But with Tottenham, they always give Harry Kane that service. And I would like Harry Kane. Listen, I'd also like Darwin Núñez, but who knows? But I mean, I guess Darwin Núñez is another player on Ten Hag's shopping list. Will we get him? Maybe not. But Rahul, Darwin Núñez, I don't think we're gonna get him. He's definitely on Ten Hag's shopping list, but I don't think we're gonna get him.
No, I've heard a few sources. I think European sources talking about Darwin Nunez, being linked with United. But for me personally, I just wouldn't go anywhere near him, not because of footballing reasons. Again, it's the price tag.
Yeah,
And again, if we were gonna go for him, it has to be a swap deal again. So yeah, that's it.
yeah, exactly. And I'll get a few stats on him. He's a centre forward. His height is 1.87 meters. He's he's from Uruguay, 22 years of age. So far with Benfica, sorry, this season he has made 28 appearances, scored 26 goals, and got 4 assists. He's a centre forward. He can also be a second striker and a left winger. And on a few websites, he's worth 49 million pounds. But again, I don't think there's a need to talk too much about him because I don't think we're gonna get him. But there's facts about Darwin Nunez, and again, would you like Darwin Nunez? I'd like Darwin Nunez, but it's just again, I mean, Jesus, how much Benfica, they're trying to rob us. Let's just say that. Let's just say they're trying to rob us. We haven't got that much money, so again,
we're not playing FIFA career mode.
no. That's the thing, right? We're not playing FIFA here. This is real life. I wish it was like FIFA, but unfortunately, it's not. But again, we won't talk about FIFA because if you watch the episode that we just had that putting out, you'll see why I don't want to talk about it. but yeah, Rahul, do you want to move us on to anyone else, or do you have any in mind?
So so this is another centre back. His name is Lisandro Martinez. Sure people have heard of him. He's 24, plays at Ajax. Again, another Ten Hag, a rising star developed by Ten Hag. So he is for me a realistic target because he'd probably cost you 32 million euros again if you negotiate right. So if you convert that to pounds, probably maybe like 25 million pound. That's a kind of footballing transfer, footballing move that I'd like United to make. Obviously, it all depends on Julian Timber. But if Julian Timber, if his mentality, his loyalty to Ajax or some other reason, falls into play and he doesn't end up in United, Lisandro Martinez, he's there. He's 24 years. He's ready to make that step. And obviously, Ten Hag probably rates him very highly.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the player, again, I would like him. Again, imagine getting him and even Anthony or Julian Timber to be a link. There'd be a link in there, no matter who comes to United from Ajax. But then again, Rahul, the question is, and unfortunately, we're not getting an answer for it. Will we get him?
I think the realistic problem is that Ajax are champions of of Netherlands. They're not gonna sell their whole team to us, right? You've got the manager. You're gonna get probably maybe one player. One player,
Timber,
I guess.
likely.
Yeah, realistically, we're just gonna get one player out of that Ajax team. So if we're Julian Timber obviously is the most likely. So this is just in case if something happens with Timber.
That's the thing, and Mitchell van der Gaag as well. Didn't we rob him from Ajax? Yeah, so we have to lead them with some sort of people. I mean, I remember a few months ago we were planning on getting Edwin van der Sar in as well. So we're trying to rob them, but unfortunately Ajax let's just say they're smart enough to know what the story is. But listen, to be honest with you, Rahul, there's a lot of Ajax players that I'd like at the club, but I don't think we will get them. But that's just it. How many players do you have left down? Because you have 10 minutes remaining.
So I have De.Ligt, Matthias De Ligt, as you all know, 22 years of age. So I'm just I have him on my list again because of his former links with Ten Hag and
Yeah,
Ajax. But again, he's one of them players which will probably cost you between 50 to 100 million euros. Um, because of the way Juventus, operates, they probably want to get the highest value again. Uh, but just to keep it short, again, it's a transfer that you require some kind of swap deal. Maybe if you give them Eric Bailey or someone maybe in a similar position or even a different position. So that's my take on him. But he's definitely in the list, just down
yeah.
the order.
Yeah, again, I have another player, Christopher Nkunku. Again, I don't think we'll get him, but he has been linked to United quite a few times. Again, just run through. Supposedly he's worth 58 million pounds. He's 24 years of age. He's from France. His height is 1.75 meters. Let's just check. 34 appearances, 20 goals, 15 assists in the Bundesliga this season. He's an attacking midfielder. He can be a centre forward and a second striker. That's his kind of main position. But I have a player here, right? Well, two players, left back or right back. And both of them is Tyrell Malacia. Not sure whether you know him.
Yeah, I know him.
And the other one is Tyrell Lamptey. That's
Yeah.
right too. Again, we all know a little few stats about them. Would you like to hear stats about them, or do you know much about them?
Yeah, I mean, just for the fans, you could read the stats.
Yeah, again, I'll read out the stats about him. Okay, we all know he plays for Feyenoord because he's a left back. Right, here we go. So he's worth £10 million, 22 years of age. Again, he's Dutch as well. His height is 1.6 meters. He's a left back. This season in the Eredivisie, he's made 31 appearances, scored 1 goal and got 4 assists. And again, he is a left back. I mean, Rahul, would you like him?
Yeah, definitely take him. Looks like a realistic deal that could be done there. But I haven't seen any links. There's no. I don't think United are actually working on the deal as of now. But
No,
maybe
it was just kind of like more of a rumor than links.
Yeah, we could suddenly just jump into it and buy him. So it's possible.
Yeah, well, again, we still have Tellez and Luke Shaw, and again, who will remain between those two? Who knows? But again, another player I just named, Tyrell Lamptey. He's 21 years of age, worth £16 million. He's from Ghana, but he plays. No, he's from Ghana, but he used to play for the English under 21s. His height is 1.63 meters. This season, he's got 30 appearances, scored no goals, but got 2 assists. He can be a right midfielder and also he can be a right back. And Brighton got him. He used to play for the Chelsea under 18, Chelsea youth, Chelsea under 18s and under 23s. Then he moved to Brighton in the 2019-20 season for £1.8 million. And again, he's at that rising through the years. But again, Rahul, the same question I'll ask you: would you like those two?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, and you could probably negotiate a good deal with Brighton. So I think we should probably be negotiating with them, but given I don't really trust United, I think we're just slow at transfers.
Yep.
Gravenberg is an example of how slow we were. We could have had Gravenberg at United. Now he's at Bayern Munich. So I definitely want them.
Yeah, exactly. And Rahul, that closes the show. Unless you have any players that you can just run through.
So I'll just wrap up a few. So there's Manuel Akanji, 26. So it could be an option as a centre back, plays for Dortmund, and probably like £25 million. So another player that's a more realistic move. So then there's Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
So you obviously know him. 26 years old from Leeds.
Yeah.
English could be a logical move for his career as well. But and you could probably get him for within 35 million euros. Once again, if you negotiate right. And there's obviously Rafinha as well. So he plays in that same right wing position for Leeds. But the thing with Rafinha, he's basically carried Leeds for the whole season, and he's adaptable. He can shift into midfield as well. So you could probably, get him for again 35 million pounds, 25 years of age. So, these are deals that probably United should at least try to do. I'll just wrap two more off. So there's Musa Diaby, plays for Bayer Leverkusen, 50 million pounds. He's a winger, so he's more of an attacking winger. Doesn't really contribute much defensively, but that's just because of the way Leverkusen play. But for me, he's a guy who could be transformed into a really good player. He already has 13 goals from last season, so a really good player. And so just an option. And you obviously have Jeremy Pino, sorry. So there's another guy who plays for Villarreal, an integral part of their season, just like Pau Torres last season. So another versatile right midfielder, 19 years of age. So he can beat it. He can beat a defender. He can deliver a good ball, just like Rafinha. Similar player, maybe an alternative to Rafinha, and it cost you like 34 million pounds. So definitely on the list. And for me to just finally wrap it off, I'd say Jared Bowen. So again, plays for West Ham, 18 goals, 13 assists. It's ridiculous. He scored a lot of goals, 51 league and cup appearances, and he's just 25 years of age. But the thing is, again, because he's English, and he plays for West Ham, you probably have to pay like 75 million pounds. So you probably won't get Jared Bowen unless we, negotiate a really good deal or make a transfer or a swap deal. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But Jared Bowen he'd be a good player, but I don't think we'll get him anytime soon. But I have another quick player, Evan Ndika, worth 25 million pounds. He's 22 years of age, French. Height is 1.92 meters. Again, centre back this season in the Bundesliga. He's made 32 appearances, 4 goals, 4 assists, and he can also be a left back, but his main position is centre back, and he plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. But Rahul, that's been the Ten Hag shopping list. Just to remind people, our weekly schedule, it's out on our Instagram and Twitter. Wednesday, which is Timber versus Torres head-to-head, and we have the usual on Thursday, United News at 7. Friday, transfer news. Then Saturday, Erik Ten Hag improvements, and then Sunday we'll start off with our little summer podcast with Let's Talk United podcast. So we're just going to talk everything United and throw all our ideas and everything we have out to the people. And again, follow all our socials, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Just type it all in, Facebook as well. Type it all in. It's United where you got all the good content. Rahul, thanks for joining me. As always,
thanks for having me. Yeah.
As always, we had a few issues at the start, but we got through it, and that's the main part of it. But Rahul, thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. And again, if you're new to the people who will watch this video, please like, comment, let us know Ten Hag shopping list, and hit that subscribe button. Rahul,
let us know what you'd like us to do as well. If you have any suggestions.
And we'll get that done for you all through the summer. It's going to be an exciting summer, and we're live on YouTube every night at 11 o'clock with Manchester United Career Mode. Rahul, thanks for joining me. Everyone, thanks for watching the video, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Peace.
Thanks.